Welcome to Accounting High.
This excites me, right? Because
this
as someone
is all the data.
Yeah, as someone that's coming from building custom integrations using the API of a lot of these tools, like this is basically a tap into the API. This is, pulling invoice data, location data, payment data, line items, customers, right? So the list goes on. And then within that,
Transfers.
you also have 100 subcategories of those.
Yes.
This becomes very powerful for more than
This is
just...
like data mining.
This is more than
exactly.
just
This is data mining.
Yeah, this
It
is more
is.
than just reporting.
You're limited by your imagination.
Yes, that's true.
May I have your attention, please?
Welcome to Accounting High.
Greetings, students. This is your custodian reading off a brand new set of announcements here at Accounting High. Are you an accounting firm owner trying to navigate the ever-changing landscape of technology? Are you overwhelmed by the sheer number of software solutions available, unsure of which ones are right for your firm? We understand the struggle that firms face when trying to make sense of today's digital world. That's why we're here to provide a platform where accounting professionals can learn about the latest tech solutions and experience them firsthand through demos. On our show, you'll hear inspiring conversations and actionable advice from experts in the field. We'll discuss topics such as cloud accounting, automation tools that can help enhance productivity and profitability. Join us at Accounting High, the only school for forward-thinking accountants who want practical guidance without any pretense. Subscribe now, share with your colleagues, and engage with us on social media. Let's take your business and life to new heights and get high together at Accounting High.
So sit back, relax, and open your mind because class is in session.
I repeat, may I have your attention, please?
This is another public service announcement brought to you in part
by Accounting High,
the views and events expressed here are
of the next generation of accounting and tech professionals leading this space.
the events and suggestions are not to be taken lightly. Children should not partake in the listening
Of this podcast.
anything else.
Yeah.
So without further ado, introducing the star of our show.
Corey Cournoyer and
Scott Scarano.
We're gonna have a problem here.
we got a special today. We're in our tech labs with Corey Cournoyer and Scotty, your custodian. We got a very special presentation today from G-ACCON. Yelena is going to lead us with our first ever tech demo. And Corey, this was Corey's idea. This whole idea of doing tech demos was birthed from Corey. Corey is from the Growth Lab. Simple tasks rule everything around me. AppStream. And we're working with a bridge app today. This was a darling in the tournament, in our ABC tournament. G-ACCON made a big splash this year on our first ever tournament. They made it, I think, to the third round, maybe the second round. So we're honored to have Yelena with us today. And we're going to learn a little bit more about G-ACCON, see what it does for us, what it could do for you at your firm. If you're watching this on YouTube, we actually have a screen. If you're listening on the show, we will make sure it's enhanced enough for the listener so you can hear it and hear what G-ACCON can do for you. Corey, you want to say a couple words? You're like the student today. You're like the lead and student sitting in the front row. I'm just in the back.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this one. I'm going to learn from this one too myself. So I truly am the student today.
You've done a lot of tech demos in your day. You are like the tech lead. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself or a little bit about what you do at Growth Lab, because you're the tech guy. At least that's what I see. So,
yeah, I mean, we ourselves are a accounting, FP&A, CFO, and tax shop. So that's kind of like how we got into this. And I focus a lot on tech for Growth Lab, kind of the systems we implement. And we have AppStream, obviously, simple tasks. Check out Scott's video on that. And AppStream kind of focuses on integrating different apps into firms' tech stack. So I'm excited for this one because this is like right up my alley. This is like what I love learning about.
yeah. And to address the other elephant in the room, LiveFlow, another one of our partners here, is very similar to G-ACCON, but there's some core differences. And we're not going to do, today's not a this or that, but I do want to address that there are some core differences between the two products, and we'll go over that today too. We'll leave the table to Yelena to get us started.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Korey, for having us. And I'm guessing I will be like visiting professor, right? Or teacher.
Yes. Adjunct.
Adjunct, yeah.
And where are you visiting from us or from today?
From Michigan.
From Michigan, yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like a Michigan accent, but I will. I'll chalk that one up to our travel time. Yeah.
Yes, sounds good. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to dive deeply in details, but if you need to have more details of our application, just feel free to stop me and we will dive as deep as possible. So first of all, G-ACCON is accounting integrators. And what are we integrating? We're integrating Google Sheets with different accounting software. So our main softwares, this one we're integrating are Xero's, Quickbooks, Sage, FreshBooks, and some sub-applications which belong to Xero. So accounting tools. So what we do? So as a nutshell, we do two-way synchronization. So basically, we're helping accountants to download different type of data as a raw data, reports, create consolidation reports, and do bulk upload. We also have very nice feature to help accountants generate consolidated reports. And on top of that, we offer multi-currency converters. And multi-currency converter is very powerful tools, which is allow us to pull exchange rate for last 10 years, so 10 historical years. And why you're really using G-ACCON? To automate the process. So basically, we're helping accountants, business owners, and people who are taking care of accounting numbers to have these numbers as accurately as possible and as fast as possible, and a big chunk and big volume of data. So when we talk about, let's say, a live flow, this is a big, huge kind of difference here. We're managing a lot of data in both directions. All right, should we dive in?
So yeah, just 2 key points. It'll work with Xero, and it's two-way sync. So those are just some differentiators between the products. But otherwise,
and
continue.
Quickbooks.
Yeah. And Quickbooks too, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I'm going to show now, I'm going to show you Quickbooks just because we are in US market and we have now a ton of users who is really in our country, right? And who is using us. So why you have first impression that we use Xero? It's true in the sense Xero is our first product which we deliver in the market. And after Xero, I would say within a couple of months, we delivered to the market QBO. So basically, if you look at our Quickbooks application, so it's very mature application, and we can see it from how many people we now see in our space and how many accountants using our tools.
99% of the market is Quickbooks. I'm one of the few Xeros left.
Xero's picking up traction now.
We will take care of you. No problem. We will take care of you.
Now, Yelena, is there any difference between the data that you can extract between Quickbooks or Xero?
Absolutely not. So we have the same functionality. So basically, we're focusing on customized standard reports. We call it standard because accountants understand it can be balance sheet, P&L, trial balance, standard reports, and you can put customization, right, by filtering, by choosing different parameters. So you can pull, we have a standard report as is from the system, or we generate ourselves in-house. All the logic we create, massaging data and put different buckets, right, for age reports, for example. So this is one type of reports. Then extract raw data. We're talking now about big chunk of data. So we were able for one of our customer pull 200,000 records. And sometimes, like Andrei said, okay, go, stop using us, go and use big data. No, they love us, so they stay. So basically, we're able to pull that ton of data in a spreadsheet. And third level of pulling or generating report, consolidated reports. So this basically 3 big chunk of data which we are downloading from the system. And this functionality identical for all our products. So basically, we try to have the same for Sage, FreshBooks, Xero, and QBO. The same concept, the same UI. So what is the idea behind? So then persons start learning tools, whatever you learn, right? You do have learning curve, right? It's not like one button click and everything generated for you is easy. It's like 1, 2, 3. It is learning curve for each and every tool. So when person is comfortable, this G-ACCON for Quickbooks, she can easily move to G-ACCON for Xero, Sage, FreshBook, and be comfortable and use application right away. So this is download function and upload. Absolutely upload. Structure-wise, definitely, Korey, especially you technical person, right? So you can see structure is different, architecture is different, tables are different, right? Accounting tables are different, but the concept internally the same. Security, very similar, the
Yeah.
same, right?
Yeah, I'm curious to kind of dive in because I think Growth Lab is probably like one of the limited firms that we kind of do a crossover between QuickBooks and Xero. Scott, like I think you use
I wish we used
mostly
more QuickBooks
Xero,
now.
right?
Yeah, we use only Xero because my team doesn't want to use anything different. Most firms, they're one or the other. They're because it's so hard to context shift that whole green to blue. It's hard on the eyes.
It is, yeah. So cool, Yelena. I'm looking forward to diving in.
Perfect. So you should be able to see my screen. And moment then our customer install application, we connected this Google Sheets, right? You can see everything, all add-ons from the Google Workspace Marketplace available under extensions. So moment you install our application, you will have G-ACCON for Quickbooks menu option. So it's very similar. For Scott, G-ACCON for Xero, okay? So
for the listeners, you're in a Google Sheet and you have your extensions. On the top toolbar, you click extensions and you got a list of G-ACCON for all the different solutions. It has G-ACCON for AWS too, so I'm kind of interested on what that's going to show, but let's continue.
Let's don't go there, right?
Yeah, we're not going to go there yet. Yeah.
All right, so let's focus on QuickBooks. So moment you open and create secure connection between Google Sheets, your Google account, and your entity, you have to create this connection once. From technology perspective, IT terminology, it's a secure token. So you establish connection between Google Sheet and your company, and as soon as you authenticate successfully, you will see all menu. This is all our functionality. So you have 3 functions here, 3 menu options to download data. So custom accounting reports, get accounting data, it's your raw data when you pull data from the table, and consolidated report. And later on, when we have time, we can cover upload. So basically, it's import data from Google Sheet to your entity. But if we do have time. So what I want to show you, most popular, I will click on custom reports, and we create buckets. So people who is familiar with this QBO will be comfortable what to look and how to look it. So, and then I select all, and you have all list of reports. So as I say, some of the report works directly from API. You select parameters, you pull data and generate reports, and some of the report we generate ourselves. So for example, all age reports, receivable, payables for receivables, and the same logic's code for Xero. So for receivables, we're not only pulling invoices, so it's credit notes, payment, prepayment, overpayment, all this data table goes to this reports and calculation. Or detailed transaction, it's very powerful reports, which again, we generate in the house. But for now, I will choose a P&L report, and I will dive a little bit in details. So we do have concept where user can select date range, and they can select date range dynamically, statically, or create custom formula. So if you, let's for example, you select dynamic date range and you select this month. You can do this week, this quarter, this financial year, but let's assume you go this month. And then you automate your P&L to refresh your data. Let's say you set up automation to daily refresh your P&L data. And now we're in the May, right? And then your daily job will be running and automatically update your report. And next month it will be June, July, August. And what it does, you don't have to come and touch the template. You create template here. We will automatically move from one month to another month. So this is one approach.
Cool. Yeah, and I think to kind of give the people listening in kind of context to what's going on right now, I think what we're looking at is like actually very similar to what an accountant would see when they go into QuickBooks, right? You have the drop down for all the reports, very similar to the QuickBooks reports. I think that you probably had like twice as many. You have the date range, the comparison period, the accounting method. Like those are the same drop downs or tooltips that are in QuickBooks. And so I'm sure for a lot of people,
the
like
ones
this
that were in QuickBooks Desktop that carried over.
This is very easy to kind of
very
align
familiar.
with.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm very familiar
yes.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what we want. So another approach, now we're talking about a little bit cloud technology and more self-reference. So it gives flexibility to our customers. What is this? You can set up anything in your space in the spreadsheet and do self-reference. So that concept exists through whole our application, not only for date range, for different filtering conditions. So that approach exists. So what it gives you, so let's assume you have 20 different reports, 50 different reports. In order to change each and every template, you have to come only in one spot, in one place, and change your formula. Instead of today, you can pull plus 10. All right, voila, you have new formula, new date range. Okay, and this approach gives our customer like ton of flexibility. So this is what I want to tell you. Another thing what I want to mention through whole application, we do have layouts. So layouts is important because a lot of accounting firms or companies, they not only use traditional view, then where you have your revenue, cost of goods sold, operating expenses, net, you want to build your BI solution. And for that reason, we introduced layout which call historical layout. So basically what we do, we bring file, not from not traditional formatting, but bring file into flat format, which I'm going to show what you can do from this flat format in a couple of seconds. All right, so this is straightforward filtering. You select attributes, needed attributes, that part of application responsible how your data look like. So it's a little bit you can change. For example, you can change your color, font size, and your reports label, and you want to keep this formatting after we refresh data. Go ahead. You can.
Did you say you can change the colors too?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
You can change anything you want, so it's a formatting. So, but if you want to have your formatting after we refresh your data, so this is how you do. You keep original formatting. You want to highlight every other row, so this is what you do. And let me execute it. So what we do in 2 sentences, we save the template or structure. Why do we need the template? You need templates? Yes, we need template because now we know what you're requesting from QBO or Xero or Sage and how to refresh your data, and we pull your data. And our concept, we don't save no single data in our servers, in our boxes. Each and every request, each and every refresh, each and every automation go to the source and bring data to your Google Sheet. All right. So this is your P&L. So next step, for example, I want to modify somehow, right? I don't like what I see. How you modify the template? So you click Edit Templates for the current sheet. If you do have multiple templates in the same tab, you can see all of them on the right side. So now I see only one. I can click and I see, okay, I can load the template, do modification, and either execute again or update and keep it for refresh cycle. So this is how easy you can generate template. It's just no brainer here, right?
Now, Yelena, are you able to change any of those settings? Let's say you went into the profit and loss and you wanted to change the date range, or you wanted to change the
Absolutely.
classes, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very good questions. So I'm again opening this template, and what you can do now, you can do modification. You can put any other date range, right? Let's say, I don't know why I'm doing that, but let's say from January, so it'll be very weird. You can change approval or cash base. You can open and say, okay, I don't want dynamic approach. I want to select specific accounts. You can go ahead, do it. You can select any classes, whatever you want, and layout. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I think what I
And
like what's really nice about this for accountants out there is that like this is live and you can adjust it as the needs change. You don't have to start from scratch. You can just change the template.
absolutely,
I think that's
absolutely.
huge.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Corey, it's correct. And another step, a little bit further. So now you will have the ability to save the template and reuse it. Because what happens when you create template, it will belong to this specific file, this tab. So now we want to have reusability. You want to apply or run profit and loss for different entities. For you can share this your team, and your team member can generate reports for their entities, right, to different organization, or you can share this template with your client if your client wants you set up this environment for client, because it's a different application how people use us, right? Some companies generate the accounting reports and take care of accounting for clients, and some of the clients wants to have that settings in their own hands, right? So for in both situations, they can use our application. So let me do, I will change name. And what I'm doing now, I am saving this template in cloud. So basically it will belong to your Google account, and the structure will be saved under this specific Google sheet. And now the trick will be here. What can I do this step? So what can you do this step? You can switch organization. This is one application, and you can run P&L to, let's say, business ABC, right? This is how I switch entity. And I want to place new P&L next to my previous company P&L. So what I'm going to do, I will load template from my workspace, and before I execute it, I'm going to show you how you can share this template with whomever you want. So I will choose report. I narrow down my search. This is my P&L. I have function right here. I can specifically share this template with somebody, right? Some specific email address, or I can share within my team if you're using us based on group licensing. So you can do that. If not, I can load the template and execute. And what you're going to have here, I'm going to have here two P&Ls for two entities on the same tab.
Shout out to Roman. I saw his name on there.
Yeah.
He's probably listening to this too. So
Let's load his. Yeah.
I was talking to him yesterday, so well said, well good here.
Yep.
So, all right. So what we can do here, again, sales reference approach, right? You can use this icon, very easy. You can type it, and you can place your P&L next to the first one, and now it's belong business ABC, right? Or you can append data. So this is powerful tool when you pull raw data. I'm not sure if I have time to show you, but if you choose append function, what we do internally, we will count how many rows we will bring to the spreadsheet from the first template, and our second template data will start right away. In this example, row number 47. So basically, if you try to pull, let's say, invoices for 10 different entities, you can place all of them in one tab, and they will be seamlessly, right? What you will do after that? you have your analysis done, right? And you build your BI solution, right? So this is perfect here. So I will uncheck append. I will go back and place it to P1. Somehow
If
I
someone
like
wanted to append the data, let's say they wanted to add, let's say they wanted to do some analysis on it. They add another row between 18 and 19. So but after the gross profit, for those listening in, and say wanted to calculate gross margin. If they add in a row or something like that, how does that affect any
that
reporting?
will be new enhancement. We work on this enhancement last 4 months, and we know what is this coming from. So that opportunity will be available on May 14. So
That's very specific.
Exactly. Yes. Because
By the honestly, I think that's the air date of this episode, so it's kind of perfect. Actually, this episode's going to be on the 23rd, so it's already out for now.
Yes, it will be there. Yes. And how this function works, Korey. So basically, if you want to delete row within template, you can put any comments here. For example, right? Comments. If you want to calculate margin, right? If you want to do anything, whatever you want, it will be available, right? It will be available, and all these comments, formula, margin calculation, everything will stay as is after we refresh data. Yep, good question, perfect question. But for now, what we can see, so you can see I have business ABC P&L, and I have G-ACCON, again, demo data P&L. So, and my next step, what I usually tell my customers, if you do need to pull just simple P&L, go to QBO. You don't need us.
So
right?
what you just did for the listeners too is you hit a drop down and you went to automations.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. So my point is, okay, if you don't need to automate anything, you don't need G-ACCON. You go to QBO.
If you don't need to automate anything, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
Thank you, Scott. Don't go that way. Perfect. But if you do, this is how you do. So we have concept workflows. And workflow concept, if people thinking about how to group the processes and execute them in certain time, this is what a workflow concept came from. So, for example, if you want to refresh data, let's say P&L, to P&L, we're going to refresh. I will put name of the workflow fresh, and I have to put some meaning, P&L, refresh P&L, right? This is name of your workflow. Then next step, you can add templates, right, which you want to refresh. Then you have nice gear how to set up notification, means if something goes wrong, you would like to have notification from the system. This is a place how to use it. And then scheduler. So now you can combine your processes in certain schedule, be mindful here, P&L, detailed transaction, age reports. It's absolutely not needed to refresh them every 3 hours, right? But daily is perfect. It's perfect. So I choose the daily frequency and set up automation. So let's say this is one workflow. Another workflow. Go ahead, Korey. Yeah, go ahead.
I think what I want to touch back on was, so in these workflows, coming from my perspective, like when I focus on the tech and like automations for Growth Lab, one of the key things there is we don't want to just automate everything just for the purpose of automating it, right? What I really liked that you kind of touched on briefly was there was a drop down that said stop on failure or stop on error. You had a couple options there. I think that's like a
stop on failed. Yeah,
that's important because you don't want to be automating things to your clients if the data is not accurate or the Quickbooks sync breaks or anything like that. So that's a key feature here.
Yeah, it's
or
a nice
you're sending
kit.
notifications in case of an error. So it's, if there was an error,
It's a nice catch. We do have a couple clients who build a lot of workflows, internal workflows, and for them this is like
That's critical.
Saver.
Yeah.
Yes, it's critical because if something goes wrong, data not refreshed, other processes won't be triggered. It's absolutely amazing. Yes. So yeah, great. You saw that. I was like zooming through that.
Yeah, we're going to slow you down because you're used to doing this, but and especially for the
We're the
listeners too, to
students.
kind of, we're the students, and you're just a guest here at Accounting High. We need to slow you down a little bit.
Not experienced teacher. Let's go.
You're
that
very experienced. Yes, you're experienced teacher. We're just novices. Yeah.
All right. So this is very simple case for workflow. But let's assume you want to notify your customers, right? And maybe your customers or client doesn't need to have all this daily refreshed P&L, and they will be satisfied to have it one time per week. So that you can create another workflow, which can work or can run in the Sunday evening and create for them fresh data for set of reports or maybe raw data, whatever they want to see. And maybe you put the Google chart here, right, for them to see. And then you can notify customer through this step. So it's a fourth step, which is called emails. And what your customers can receive. If they really Google people, right, they like to see Google Sheets, and you will choose spreadsheet link. So basically, when they receive a mail, they can click on the spreadsheet links and they will see the same file. If your clients are Microsoft fan, right, and they want to have everything in Microsoft, they don't like to have Google Sheets, we can convert whole file for them in Microsoft, in Excel. So, and then they receive Excel as an attachment, they open, voila, they have Excel, they can view whatever they want to view. So, and we have also options to receive CSV file. It's mostly for bank feed, based on what I see. People use it, accountant use it, or PDF report. So this is another option. Fifth workflow can be, it's a little bit advanced feature here. For example, customers use that like this, alert. It's called alert notification. So if you pull raw data, it can be invoices, can be bills, purchase order, raw data tables, so raw accounting data. If you pull invoices, for example, and you have due date for invoices and you want to notify your customers or team member 2 days before they due for invoice, you can put condition. So basically, you can you can set up conditions for any strings, for date, for outstanding amount, for any amount per se, and this is your conditions. What you can see here, and if those conditions met, the file will be refreshed and sent to that specific person whom you specify in this field. So This is kind of setting up alert. It's a very powerful feature. I do have quite a lot of customers who use it. And finally, I want to cover that because it's very interesting feature. Again, a lot of our clients use it. What is that? Automatic backup. So usually how it goes in Google Spreadsheet, you refresh the same file, right? You keep refreshing data based on schedule. You have new data, but you refresh one file. You don't create any copies. So this specific function give you opportunity to create copy in your Google Drive. So how I see how people use that, in the end of the month, then accountant reconciled the books, they want to have snapshot. This is the opportunity. So basically, if you have one file, you want to have snapshots every month, so you have 12 files in your Google Drive. If you want to come back, visit, and have your, September data, right? So this is application of workflow. So this is workflow concept. All right, let's run.
Can we go back for a second? You had brought up, I think it was on the alerts tab. So for people listening in, there's the create workflow, and you have a couple different options. You have the name and description. You can add the template. You can schedule it. You can set up the email alerts and the backups. When we're on that alerts tab, you had referenced something around bank feeds and alerts on bank feeds. That's like a common issue with teams is, managing those bank feeds and everything that comes with it.
Yep.
What were you kind of referencing there? What have you seen from your customers? How do they use this for bank feeds?
How they using? I want to say they generate CSV file, and a lot of banks accepting CSV.
Oh, no, they're creating the feed to pull into the product.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. And if you set for alert, this is set up alert based on your data and then send notification to certain client when certain conditions met.
Got it.
So this is how set up alert. It means like if condition never met, so you will not receive this report, and maybe you don't need to receive it, right?
Can you create
So this-
alerts on non-numerical things? So, for example, on if a box equals a certain text value.
Yes, absolutely. When I open this drop-down box, you can see equals, not equal, contains. So this is your text validation. This is your numerical, equal, not equals, greater, equal, and this is dates validation. After certain dates, before certain dates, same date. So it's a lot of different types.
Powerful.
Yeah. I forgot that I have to talk. I have to, cover each and every item. Yes. All right. So let me apply and execute. The maybe last thing I want to mention here, when I choose the time, we put around certain day, right? Certain time, around 4 a.m., around 6 a.m. What does it mean? It's not like we don't like automation work exactly at 6 a.m., but from the way how triggers execute the process, we set up here like simple Google triggers, right? They never work on time. Let's say you never have execution which will be executed at 4 a.m. exactly. So, and to set up proper expectations, we set up around 4 a.m. When people start, Scott will be using the system, he will see sometimes execution will run 4:05, 4:06, 4:10. So make sure you don't expect it to run exactly at 4 a.m. So what I'm going to do I'm going to click on apply and execute button, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute it. So I will select G-ACCON for Quickbooks. I will go to automation, and I selected edit delete workflow. If you set up 10 workflows, all of them will be here. So it's very easy to manage them. You can delete it, you can modify it, everything will be here in one screen. So now I load this workflow, and then I forcefully execute. And what I told usually to my customer, the main feature of our application, it's a log file. What it gives you visibility. So now we show only two templates for two organizations. So let's assume you support 25 organizations and you have 50 different templates, and you come in the morning, you don't want to go from one tab to another and figure out, was it my data refresh, was it not? So you come to this log file, and what you see exactly what's happening overnight. So you see, like in my case, it's my Google account, this is my timestamp, and this is whole process. It's my first workflow. Execution happened for first template, executed successfully. I pulled second template, executed successfully. And if you have a lot of processes, all of them will be here. Next cycle process will append data. So eventually you might have thousands and thousands rows of data. And definitely you can delete it, and our application is smart enough. We will start from row number 1 next time. So it's a huge deal. The log file, all my customer uses, and I told them, okay, this is a place where you have to check what's happening. Let's assume something happened here. You have error. Like I want to tell like last year, right? AWS has a problem, right, in Virginia region. So, and it was impacted by many company was impacted, right? But in QBO as well. And what we have, if you have error, you will have nice description, what happened, right? And it's nice visibility, and now you have to decide what you should do next if you see this error. So what you will do next? You have two options here. So I come back to P&L tab, and what I told my customer usually, you can refresh all your data manually. You can do refresh current tab, or you can refresh all environment, whole workspace. This is your manual process. And second, if you have cycles which is set up to refresh every 3, 4, 5 hours, your options can be, you will wait for next cycle. All right, so this is your option. Manual refresh versus the cycle. What is manual refresh limitations? Limitations what we face, like everyone else who's using Google Sheet, it's a 6 minutes limit, right? If within 6 minutes you're not getting back your data, you will hit timeout. So that's why it's very, very important to create automation, because we create certain algorithm which is allow us to pull data within 20-25 minutes. So this is our know-how here.
Awesome.
Right.
Now, on that operations log you had, so to kind of take a step back,
Yep.
we have this operations log that logs every event that happens via an automation. One of the last columns in this table is username. Is that your username, or is that the username of the person you were trying to send the email to?
No, that will be name, Google account, the person who create template. If you send somebody email, the information will be here. It will tell something like this: email has been.
And this is in the results
sent.
column.
Yes, in the result column 2, ABC, whatever, gmail.com. Yeah, this information.
Interesting.
will be
Why I
there.
bring that up, I think that's an interesting point. I think this is a valuable piece for a lot of firms where they want to have visibility even into their own team, right? It's visibility into who's sending the emails, who's executing on these things. This becomes extremely helpful for them.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good point. Yeah, perfect point. Yeah.
So are all those ABC references a shout out to the Accountant Bracket Challenge? Is that what all that is?
But I didn't mean that, but let's go that way.
Every time I see somebody use ABC now, that's all I think of.
It's a click, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So let me go and show you another set of functionality, but it's again, if you do have time, right, if you have to dive a little bit deeper. So that download responsible for extract raw data. So basically, this is straightforward connection to tables. This is how many tables available for us through QBO API. So the same set of table or similar set of table available for Xero through Xero API. But what you're going to do, you choose a table from which you want to pull data. And now you have to be very careful, because sometimes you have attributes, which is each and every attributes become column in your spreadsheet. So basically, you're looking here at 300 attributes. You really don't want to pull all of them, right? So you have ability to choose what you really want. Let's say we're talking about invoices, due date. It can be nicely invoice ID, invoice number, line items, right? You want to go, okay.
So for context, for people listening in here, Yelena went through that same extensions tab at the top of the Google Sheet. The only difference is instead of choosing Get Reports, we chose Get Data this time. And the drop-down basically, this excites me, right? Because
This
as
is
someone that's,
all the data.
Yeah, as someone that's coming from building custom integrations using the API of a lot of these tools, this is basically a tap into the API. This is, pulling invoice data, location data, payment data, line items, customers, right? So the list goes on. And then within that,
Transfers.
you also have 100 subcategories of those.
Yes.
This becomes very powerful for more than
This is like data mining.
This is more than
Exactly.
just
This is data mining.
Yeah, this
It
is more
is.
than just reporting.
Yep.
You're limited by your imagination.
Yes, that's true. And internally, what we're doing, we're creating simple query. So this is your select query. This
Simple
is
queries.
So it's your select statement, right? Nice feature here. Let's say you want to change the order of your columns or attributes. This is the way to go. So you can put invoice number in column A, due date in column B. I don't know, maybe totals you move up, right? You want to see total for your invoices. So you can place it here. And next time when we refresh data, it will stay as is. So this is your order. And so this is your select statement for people who has a little bit technical background. And this is your where clause. Very simple. So you can take and choose, let's say, I want to have they due before. Again, self-reference you can use. You can set up your formula, or in my case, it will be very simple. I choose bring for me invoices which have they due before May 31st. Perfect. I put condition, and this is my order by sentence. So I can say my customer name in descending order. That's it. And change pool settings, again, the way how you want this report look like. You can highlight every other row. It's nice because you might have now a ton of the records. And I do execute. That's it. So now we create another template. It's more based on raw data template and more customized. You will create only unique solution for yourself, right? Because you can imagine how many variations can be here, right? And again, this is query templates. It can be automated. So now we're talking about raw data that can be automated, refresh for every 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, based on your need, right? Again, don't overdo that. This is a hyperlink. If you click on this link, it will open invoice in QBO application itself. So that link
Very cool.
exists through whole application. All right, and again, this report can be automated.
Cool. Now, where do you find your customers using the product most? Is it more so on the reporting side, say to automate reporting, P&Ls and balance sheets to customers? Or do you find it more so being used internally for, say, getting some of the data to manage working papers or like some of the things behind the scenes?
Yeah, I want to say about 70% will be reporting generation, and 40% will be other stuff, raw data extract and upload. I saw a lot of uploads. So some people just come for uploads only, just importing data,
So
creating
that-
journal entries. Mhm.
Okay, yes, that was
Yeah.
my other question too, is the two-way sync.
Yes.
So that's a pretty important differentiator. That's a pretty important feature. Can you go through I guess that's what you were just talking about, was the use cases for uploading. So it's journal entries. So are
Yes.
these recurring journal entries that they're creating outside of QuickBooks and you're automating this, or they're going in and
Absolutely,
updating it?
it can be automated. It can be automated. So basically, what happened, what is a best practice, how I teach people. I'm sorry, I'm going to teach you guys too. So what I did now, I download invoices, right? And what I really did, I download structure. And what the structure is my headers. It's my headers, it's my structure, which came directly from QBO. It's the same concept for every other application, for Sage, FreshBooks, and Xero. And what I do now I want to create a big upload using this structure, and those are, again, available API from QBO. So basically, if they introduce something else, we will add something else. But those tables are available for us. So if you look at financial data, it's the bills, invoices, purchase order, sales receipts. I mentioned some of them, which most popular, okay, and absolutely journal entries. So our latest update was released last fall in October. We have a couple users who required to put in one journal entry 2,500 items. All right. So when I talked to Andre, he said, okay, it's not possible that somebody put that many items in one journal entry, but guess what? It's happened. So basically what we did, now you can put in GE 6,000 items if you need it, right? You have this opportunity. So, but anyway, you choose invoices, because I know in my case, I'm talking about invoices, and then you have operations, what you want to do this invoices, how you want to handle this. You can create invoices, journal entries, bills, purchase orders, you can modify that. In case of invoices, you can send them through emails if email is provided, void and delete. So all the spectrum, whatever you usually can do on invoices, you can do it. If you do have, again, 1 invoice, 2 invoice per month, please don't use G-ACCON. You don't need it. You go to Quickbooks online, you create invoice, you're all set. Now, if you're talking about 50 invoices per day, 100, thousands, then you want to use it as in a bulk. So basically, when you try to set up first time, when you try to set up your template, upload template, you create example and try to work on couple invoices, couple records. And when I choose the road, I usually teach my customers, you select currently selected rows and create your template. What does it mean, create your template? It's very easy concept. So you do mapping. You do mapping the header to fields in QBO. This is how QBO knows what is a mapping, which field go to that, which place. That's it. So moment this mapping set, and you execute one or couple invoices, means in my case, I usually have example how to create invoice, right? It's easy. You create it from scratch. So you create invoices, everything is done. Now you change your template to new rows or all rows. So our application is smart enough. If you create new rows and in a random way, some of the invoices will be already executed, and then some of the chunk invoices just waiting for the order, right? We know which one to pick up. Or you can select all rows. In this case, all data, when you create like 200 rows, will go. So how it can go? So now I come back to Scott's questions. It can go manually when you do execute and save. You can execute right away, push your ton of data right away from Google Sheets to entity, or you can set up automation. I do have customers who is preparing data, let's say whole day, and automation set up at 6 p.m. every day. So basically you take care of your data whole day, and 6 p.m. trigger will work, and it's trigger automatic import data from Google Sheet to QBO accounts. And it can be multiple entities, it's maybe a ton of data, but this is a concept. This is conceptually how it works and how people use this.
Yeah, I think if people are listening to this, I think your next step is come watch this on YouTube, because there's so much here. There's so much here that I think we could spend another 2 hours plus, like diving in deep. But I think you really can see the full breadth of what the product can do when you can see what we're looking at. Yelena, what's one feature of the product that you wish people used more? Something that you like, something that you find interesting, that you wish people used more?
I want to say our newest feature, consolidated reports. It's very powerful, and we use it for different multi-currency converters, especially when you have global company, right, which has different branches or offices around the world. So that will be like perfect for them. Consolidation and multi-currency converters, they can set up different exchange rates. So I guess I like it because it's newest. Everything else was available a long time ago, and people know about that, but I'm very excited about that piece. So I would definitely recommend everyone who comes and have those type of business cases to try.
How about prices? Let's talk about pricing.
What can I do now? I'm not going to stop sharing, right? I'm going to voice it out. Let's go that way.
Okay.
So we have different tiers. So the minimal price, the plan called business plan, and it's for one user and up to 5 organizations. All right. So next tier is combination users and prices, right? $40 per month. So next
For
tier,
5 orgs?
For 5 orgs.
Okay.
Yes. And next tier goes for 10 users and 5 users and 25 organization. It's $85 per month. Advisor plan, next one, 10 users and 50, and then next one unlimited.
How much
for
is Advisor?
Advisor 170 per month.
Okay.
And what I would like to emphasize, not even pricing, but features and functionality. So our concept, if grandma's shop somewhere in Chicago, bakery, have a business license, they have exactly the same set of functionality like enterprise level companies. So this is our concept. So we don't want them to be discriminated. They want to have exactly the same functionality. We introduce new reports, new features, new characteristics, and we like everyone use it and enjoy that. Prices wise, our concept again, if person come, let's say this is our current price, right? Economy is good, we don't need to work on our infrastructure, we offer that prices. These prices will stay with our customers. Even if we're going to change pricing policy later on, we will keep these prices as is. So we like to be loyal to our customers, and we really appreciate when they come to us. It can be up and downs. We understand everything, but we try to keep prices as we publish them at the moment they come to us.
It's pretty reasonable.
Thank you, Scott. So any questions?
No, I think this was awesome. I think I'm kind of coming out of this as the student. I'm mostly excited to kind of try out the data pushing back into QuickBooks. I guess one question with that I'm just thinking of now before we kind of wrap this up is, can I push new data into QuickBooks? Meaning, let's say I download a report from Stripe. Random example. If I download a report into Stripe and upload it to Google Sheet, can I push that data as a transaction into QuickBooks?
It's creating new creating new invoices.
So it can be any data.
Invoice, absolutely. And we do have a couple use cases, business cases. People pull data from Shopify. So they pull data in the spreadsheet. Then you do mapping. So let's say now for easiness, right, I pull structure from QBO. But basically you can feel free, instead of invoice number, you can put any headers you want, right? The only difference will be if you pull existing structure, we do mapping for you, we help you out. But if you put your own headers, you just have to map it manually. That's it. So you dump data, you create template, you put data, automate the process, and that's it. Yes. You upload chunk of data or a big volume of data back to QBO or Xero.
This is pretty dope.
I want to be busy for a while.
Yeah. So when I mentioned the AWS, you kind of hushed me off or pushed aside. Does that mean that it's not working, or is that because we're not talking about that today? Because I see a lot of opportunity there too. From other platforms, you can import data in from other platforms and then export it into QuickBooks and do all your adjustments.
Yeah. It will be Scott different session, and for this session it's more technical approach there, and for this technical approach it will be Andrei who is going to talk about that.
Oh, okay, so we'll pass it along.
Yes.
So that'll be for next time, and we'll go even deeper.
Yes.
So I see a lot of opportunity here. It's my gears are turning. I know the gear icon in there is going on in my head. Lots of use cases, lots of different. So, and that's interesting too, is you guys aren't leading with the reports and the consolidation. That's just a new option here. That's just a new tool. A lot of the functionality is within the two-way sync and making a lot of your adjustments within the Google Sheets. So there's some core functionality here that has always been part of the product. That's pretty cool. I don't think I have any other questions. Do you have any other questions, sir?
I could spend another 10 hours on this, but for everyone's sake, I will. No, I think I agree, Scott. Like, I think and that's kind of where my question came from earlier. Where do you see people using the product more? Like, is it more in the reporting or the data side? I think one of the key features is not only that two-way sync for a lot of people, but I think it's just extracting raw data itself too, right? Like, it's great to have reports and those are super valuable. But where my head went to is like building some of the working papers for the balance sheet, like the balance sheet supporting papers, right? If you can start to pull some transaction level detail or account level detail, or things like that, that can automate a lot of the accounting process that many people just don't like doing. So
this is a huge unlock. I've been wanting to do things like this forever, and I kind of knew about G-ACCON. I found out about it, I think, through Heather Smith, mutual acquaintance of ours. She had been talking about it, and I'm pretty excited because there's a lot that we could do now with access to all the data pieces in any client too. It's not just one-to-one. You can pull data from one client and another and compare them all. So let's say for us, let me know if this isn't a possibility, but this is what I've always wanted to do, is have one sheet that shows all of our clients' profit margins, to show how much all the clients are making, like what industry they're in, how much they're making, and certain
portfolio
other pieces
level
of data.
stuff.
Portfolio level stuff, creating a portfolio of clients to see across the board, because I was going to use that for our pricing too. I was going to look at, okay, how much the client's making. What if we changed our pricing and did it based on percentage of revenue or all these other factors, fun stuff that I want to explore, or just see, that's a possibility. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a possibility, and then you can go even further, right? You will work with your numbers, it's your spreadsheet, but next step further, it will be your dashboards. This will be your BI solutions, your presentation layers, and that will give you like huge visibility, right, to the client. They don't like to dig in numbers. They want to see it colorful on the graph and show numbers. So this is your next presentation layer. People use us a lot this way too.
You could also, if you were doing as a percentage of revenue or a percentage of something from the client, then you can also export that data into your QuickBooks or Xero to create the invoice for the client, if that's what you're using to invoice.
That can be done too. Yep.
Ooh. Secure, automated, easy, two-way sync. That's dope.
There's a lot here. A lot to unpack.
Lots to unpack, and head explosions going on the visuals here. You could see that just in the looks in our faces. So that's awesome. What can our listeners do what can they do to sign up? Like, this is the call to action here.
They just go and try us out. So in Google, they can access us through our website. This is first way to reach us. Or go to Google Workspace Marketplace, type G-ACCON, and you will have all our products there. Install it and go ahead.
G-ACCON. What's the website URL? We can put that in the notes.
Accon, accon.services.
Okay.
You guys have a 14-day free trial too, it looks like, for anyone that wants to test it out, experiment. That's what I'll be doing next.
It's absolutely free. They don't have to put any credit cards. We just want them to be comfortable and see if it tool really works for them. Yes, 14 days free. And again, if like it's tax season, we're very loyal. We absolutely allow people to extend trials as soon as they have opportunity to try us. And on top of that, we're very open for feedback. We like to have feedback from different practices, different sizes of the firm and companies. So we really appreciate that part.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I will wrap us up with some outro music.